Hello again, and welcome to another speed draw. And I finally got myself into the mojo to draw Shinso for his installment for babysitting duty. So this is kind of an impromptu Q&A because I was able to actually get him sorted out, and I thought, you know what, since I made it kind of just in time for the deadline, I'm really excited to actually answer a couple of questions, although there are some where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. I will feature them still in here, but I don't know if I could answer them, so I'm really sorry in advance, but let's get a head start on this. Red Schaffer had asked if I had a favorite hero or villain traveler pair. So I guess they all have a special place in my heart, really. Again, when it comes to favorites, I really don't like playing favorites because, like, I may feel like writing for one pair, I guess, and then once I get in the middle of another one, I kind of fall back in love with them again. So it's really difficult for me to say which ones are my favorite. But if I had to choose one, I guess out of the heroes, at the moment, the one that's really close to my heart, right? I can't choose. I can't choose which one of my hero travelers is my favorite pairing. Like, I really like Zero's and like Volpone or I think it's like Volpone or you know, Tesoro's pairing, because like I like that kind of excitement. But then like I look at Bakugo's and Twinkle Toes and they're like, I really like them. And then there are moments between Midoriya and Cutie which I like really as well. So there's a whole, they all have different aspects that I really love. But I guess if you're going to say favorite as in, you know, the way I'm going to describe it is, a favorite would be the one that I could easily start writing for. I guess that would be the case. And if that's the case, well, unfortunately, it's, I wouldn't say unfortunately. I guess it's just obvious. Bakugo and Twinkle Toes. They're the easiest ones to write, and I think it's just partly because I don't know, I really like writing Bakugo. Maybe just different ways of how he reacts to things and all that, and it's kind of that character play. But I still wouldn't choose any of them to be a favorite because I don't like playing favorites. If, however, again, in that same sentiment with the villains, the one that's easiest to write for, I'd say it's Darby. I like writing Darby before Shigaraki and Overhaul. Overhaul's a little difficult to write sometimes, but that's partly because of the way I've kind of built how him and his traveler are actually I guess communicating and how they relate to one another in a way, but also because there's a lot of different elements in his. I am working on another one of his for the future, so hopefully that will explain and entail why it might take a little longer to write for Overhaul. But yeah, I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Artistic anime artist, I can't even read, asked, so correct me if I'm wrong, is the doctor and the counselor from the Halloween logs the same person, or someone will be introduced sometime in the future? I think I did a little bit of a spoiler in some previous Q&As about the doctor and the counselor, I guess, in the sense, the counselor as in the person who's in the Halloween logs, who has been, I think, if to my recollection, they've actually been seen as a nurse before they call her doctor before, like, even in the logs. I think it's by the end with the pro heroes, which is Aizawa, Mirko, and Hawks, where they actually call her Doc, as in Dr. Doc, and she would always deny the fact that she's not a doctor. So, I'm going to say it now. I don't know how much of a spoiler this is, because I don't want to spoil anyone. And I know a lot of people have already kind of put some, I know some people have already put 2 and 2 together on a few things, but the Doctor, as in the Doctor from the Pro Hero AU, as the one that has been involved with the villains quite recently, and the Counselor from the Halloween logs could be considered the same person. But in reality, then not only are they this like considered the same person, but they have the same soul, and they're actually kind of remnants, or in a sense kind of shadows or echoes of somebody else. That's what it is. And Halloween Logs has actually alluded to who that person is, so I'm not gonna go any further than that. That's gonna be up to all the theorists, I guess, whoever has clues in a logbook or a notebook somewhere to actually fill that out. So have fun! Melody Songbird asked, in Denki's babysitting video, why does baby traveler go mute? Is it because of her quirk, meaning that it hasn't manifested yet? Did something happen in her life, like abuse, that made her go mute? Or is it just because there is a thunderstorm and she's scared? Well, you can interpret it in any way you want, but I would have to say, first of all, it's obvious in Denki Kaminari's babysitting duty R video that the traveler there, as in Monange in this case, is actually afraid of thunderstorms and lightning and thunder when they were a child. So it's a fear, which if you listen carefully in the writing, or if you've actually gone to and read the fanfiction on Wattpad, Kaminari has made note or mention that when they were adults, as in the traveler, or as in, like, for example, the self-insert, which is yourself, but anyway, the traveler actually is content in storms when they're older. However, when they're a child, they're actually afraid. So there's a little bit of contradiction there, and that is something, of course, it's like, I guess you would consider it a clue as to how this traveler was raised or you know, grew up. But to answer the other questions preceding those, which of course is it because of a quirk, it hasn't manifested yet? Oh, you're referring to traveler as a her, sorry, it's they. So I do the same thing. I would just point that out. Sometimes I refer self-inserts as female, but that's partly because I also refer to myself as female, so that's kind of like a, you know, a second, you know, I guess it's like second nature to me, but like I primarily put everything as gender neutral on the channel, just putting that out there for everybody. But to answer your question, because of the quirk that they have, has it manifested yet? Did something happen in their life? That I cannot answer for you. I'm really sorry, Melody. That is something that gets built up later in the story. That is also something that gets questioned in a future audio, which I have written, but I do need to edit, record, and edit, and probably supply the art for and everything for as well in future. So you will find out eventually in Kaminari's timeline about all that. Sorry, cannot answer for you. Switched hard. Sweet, I wanted to ask about designing the travelers myself. Oh, of course, that's from the last Q&A, where I discussed about what kind of costumes they might have, and it is a bit up in the air and everything. I do have an envision as to how I would see them, but of course it depends. It's a bit fluid because, of course, the whole point is that the stories are self-insert, so you can imagine what they look like, or what they look like, what you look like in any way possible. I do have my preferences as to what they would look like, but in this case, it's go for your life. Since you've had ideas for the travelers' costumes or outfits, have you considered taking a crack at adding or taking away anything from the boys' hero outfits? Oh, so as everyone have noticed with babysitting duty, with all the videos, they are actually dressed up in their outfits, which of course are the like common outfits or the most recent canonical outfits from the show. I've not have decided to add or detract or anything from the show as of yet. I haven't really thought further into what they would do for their costume wise, because of course like every part of the costume has a purpose. But I guess I've not taken a crack, but I have taken liberties because I do follow the manga, and sometimes I think in the manga they have updated their outfits quite considerably now, canonically. So like, for example, Bakugo's image is basically, it's still like the most recent outfit he's put together for himself, which is like the whole, I guess people call it the winter outfit. I know what I did for Bakugo is that what I did was merged some of the outfit that you've seen. I think there's like that one little teaser for the Three Musketeers, the movie, the most recent movie that will be released extremely soon. There are elements from that outfit that got put into the winter outfit, so that's a merge of it together, even though it kind of looks the same. Again, taking liberties. It goes the same with Todoroki and Midoriya. I kind of did the same thing with them, merging what was seen in that outfit for the new movie and what was canonically been released on their most latest uniforms from the manga. Sero is still kind of the same. I don't recall if I've changed anything of his, but of course it's like the Spider-Man outfit. If anything, the only thing that was added was, if you've listened to his babysitting duty video, he has like this I guess HUD in his helmet that he can actually see things electronically through, kind of like how Iron Man, like that's the best way I could describe it, kind of like how Iron Man actually views the world from behind his helmet. I would imagine that's what Sero has on his helmet now, which is similar to what Kaminari does for his glasses anyway. Kaminari's outfit still kind of the same, still most likely, I guess, more true to what the manga canon is heading towards with his outfit. Again, just taking slight liberties into it because I couldn't find a lot of reference photos for it, but otherwise that's that. And as you're watching this right now, Shinso's outfit, taken slight liberties of course with his I guess his mask, because one, I was pressed for time even though I was really in the mood to draw him finally, but then two, it's kind of like, well, it would have changed over time and it would have tried to be a little more, I guess, adapted to what he needs. And well, because he doesn't have a hero outfit as of yet, I just really just saw him in something similar to Aizawa, how Aizawa dresses. I mean, I'd also imagine he'd have to be a little more stealthy in what he does, considering his quirk, and also considering that he is now fully trained in, I guess, the scarf that he's wearing now. So yeah, there you go. I guess that kind of answers that question artistically, how I would take the outfits. But if I had, I think, if I had the time and possibly the motivation to redesign parts of it as pro heroes, I would love to do that. But in between that and doing everything else for the channel, it's yeah, it can be a bit you know, time consuming. Hi, so future Mayday editor here. So I just realized, having gone through all that, I completely forgot about Kirishima and how I would have seen his outfit. I feel really bad that I forgot about him. Oh boy. Anyhow, let's just we'll continue on. But so Kirishima, on the other hand, I still think he still has the same outfit. I don't know how much of a change you can get from exactly what he's already like dressed as canonically right now, except for like I guess some fancier get up to make it cosmetically different. I guess the only thing that I would take away from it is I think there's that one band across his chest that he has. I'm not sure if that's like I guess a cosmetic choice for the outfit. I don't know if it serves a purpose. I just feel like that's the only thing that gets removed from his outfit, but everything else still stays the same. I don't think there will be any changes with Kirishima in his outfit at this time, but if there were, again, like I mentioned earlier, I would love to try and design something like that. Anyway, future Mayday out. Ashlyn Radio asks, we shall await Shinsou's video. Yep, will be coming soon. But I must ask, do you enjoy cosplay? I have mentioned this in my Discord server a few times when people have asked, but yes, I do enjoy cosplay when, you know, you could cosplay, but right now in the world that we're in, it's not possible. But I do enjoy cosplay. I had put cosplay videos on my TikTok when I first opened up TikTok, but I guess it's partly because I really just wanted to do something and quarantine was driving me insane. But I think, I guess I'm not an avid cosplayer, so I don't cosplay all the time. I guess I only cosplay when the opportunity arises. And if anyone wants to know, I've been cosplaying to conventions for the past, I guess, 4 or 5 years on and off. I've cosplayed as... So I cosplayed as a character from, I think it's called Mekaku City Actors. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself eventually. But I've cosplayed someone from that, and that was my very first cosplay, which is basically a school outfit. So very simple. And then I went to the extremes. I've cosplayed as DC characters. So I cosplayed as Raven one time, not Teen Titans Raven, like the actual proper DC Comics adult Raven. I cosplayed as her. I've cosplayed as Yang from Ruby. I've been Violet from Violet Evergarden. I believe that's the biggest, and no, it's not the last cosplay I've had, but it's the biggest cosplay I've had. I've just done random cosplay, so I was actually a Neko one time, but I guess it's because I didn't really have anything and I just had bits and pieces, so I just put something together and just felt like it. What else have I done? I've done Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. I've also done, I think her name was the Demon King, and I don't remember the anime and all that, but I will put her up on screen anyway so you can see what she looks like, and I dressed up as her as well. But definitely the last one I've dressed up as, and it's been on my socials for quite some time, is Shinso. As you can see, of course, we are seeing him on screen right now anyway. Blah. But yes, I did dress up as Shinso in the season 5 getup. So I had the mask, I had the scarf, I had the school uniform and the shoes, and basically I'm just walking around as Shinso. And I didn't have a wig because I already had purple hair at the time, so all I did was, with the help of my best friend, was tease the hell out of my hair so it stood up on end. And well, it held up for the weekend, so that was good. So there you go. I was Shinso. I think that was the last thing I've ever cosplayed. And originally I did want to cosplay as like Kirishima, and then lately I want to do a League of Legends cosplay, but again, I just had no time just going out to buy things. Eventually I will find the motivation to do that, but yeah, that answers your question. I guess that's my cosplay repertoire to date. Amari asks, oh, okay. In Sero's villain video, his traveler meets the doctor. Did that traveler know the doctor before, like in the hero AU, or was that their first time meeting? Also, Aizawa left his traveler too, like father, like son. So context for people on this question. So Amari had asked about the villain AUs, about, I think, if any of the characters actually left I guess, the Traveler, the self-insert character, when they turned. And I did mention that the two that probably did was Shinso and Aizawa. Whereas, for example, I think in the opposite direction, in Hawks's villain AU, the Traveler left him. Now, the problem with Aizawa and Hawks right now, along with Mirko, is that I'm still writing them, but I want to release them so badly when I can. But to answer your question about Sero's villain video when the Traveler meets the Doctor, I would have to say that, yes, the Traveler did, so the Traveler didn't know the Doctor, so I guess the Traveler hasn't actually physically met this Doctor before. But again, it does come down to the whole question previously about if the Doctor and the Counselor, as in the Doctor from the Pro Hero AU, is the same as this Doctor / Counselor from the villain AU, and they're echoes of each other. It's a little confusing because it is very lore inspired, and actually very deeply entwined with the lore anyway, that and the more I'm going to explain it, the more I may give it away. Tracy Comrade! I'm so excited to see Shinso's video. Yay, I'm getting there. I was wondering, kinda just to be funny, what would the Travelers do if left home alone? Okay. Also, I need to see more Ida, but also I was wondering what Big Blue's main purpose was. I am referring to Ida's Traveler's Hammer. Also, edit. Hope I'm not too late, but Mayday, were you aware that there's a Bijou Mike video in the Pro Heroes timeline playlist? Yes, you made me actually look, and I went and removed it. It must have been by accident when I was just doing chores around the house, and I must have saved it into the list by accident on my phone. Thank you for highlighting that fact, though. I wouldn't have guessed it was there. But okay. What would the Travelers do if left home alone? Wow, that's another character like trait or development I never thought about. Well, I guess if we're going to have to start from the top, Midoriya's Traveler, when they're left alone, usually when they're alone at home, is because they had found a day off from their agency, as mentioned in a few fan fictions I've written and in a few of the videos from those fan fictions. But like, when they're home alone, they're kind of just doing things. I think they're just doing things to keep the home, like, you know, in order and in check, and make sure everything is done and dusted. If, however, if all of that is done and dusted and, you know, they don't need to do anything further, I guess the only thing they could do is they would try to learn a new skill, aka they need to learn how to cook. Actually, they need to learn how to bake. They would try to upskill themselves somehow. I'd see Midoriya's Traveler doing that. Shoto's Traveler, as in Todoroki's Traveler, but I'm not sure what they would do by themselves. I never thought about that. They're usually just trying to work on their own, I guess, quirk half the time. As seen in Promises, which is Todoroki's birthday video, where they're just out at dawn just training by a beach, so then they can they can improve on their quirk in a way. So I think that's what they might do. I mean, this is almost a question that's been put on me, and I just never really thought much on it. Kirishima's Traveler is probably just training. Or they're just patrolling and trying to keep up with Fourth Kind's kind of agency, because that's where they work. You know, civil duty and all that stuff. Twinkle Toes, as in Bakugo's Traveler, is probably I guess they always have to try and concentrate to stay on the ground, so I think most of the time they're just trying to relax at home, which may involve them actually floating around the place. Kind of like how astronauts kind of float around, you know, you know, in space, they kind of probably do that at home, knowing that they don't have to work so hard to stay on the ground. I don't know. Sero's Traveler on their free time, they're probably just finding a free meal somewhere. They're probably just trying to like reserve some energy and all that, you know. I think that's what they do. Shinso's Traveler on their free time, most likely, well, I did say they're more career-based. I think they're most likely just trying to figure out what to do about work. If they have a free moment by themselves at home, they would probably figure out what to do more about work and anything, instead of relaxing. But Kaminari's Traveler on their free time would be reading. And as been explained in I think in a video or two, they have gone through so many books like twice or thrice already that they'll probably know the story at the back of their head. I guess that's the best way I could describe their hobbies. Well, it's not really much of a hobby, it's probably what they do to fill the time. But now that you made me think that, I will probably imagine what they might be, and that could be just extra videos in the future now. Thank you, Tracy. Anyhow, you were also wondering what Big Blue's main purpose was. Yeah, well, in the villain AU, it's already been established what Big Blue's purpose is in the villain AU, which is the broker, and that it's basically their main weapon. To collect like the goods and everything. It's something for them to actually be more intimidating. But in the Pro Hero AU, Big Blue's only been mentioned in that one video for Ida, which is I'm Glad You're Here. Big Blue's main purpose is meant to be for battle, as it is a big giant hammer, but I guess in a way it is a prototype meant for I guess for the support from the Traveler. I guess what I really wanted was, instead of this Traveler always being cooped up in like, you know, a space, being a mechanic and all that, why not they build something so they can help like Ida on the field outside as a mechanic, but protect themselves from everything. So there's always that, I guess. The best way I could say it is that if Big Blue had a mind of its own, it's like the Jarvis to Iron Man. So I guess that's what I want to try and figure out what to do with Big Blue. So hopefully there'll be more, I guess, installments about that. I hope so. Noah Prugner. Hashtag may I ask? Eh? Is it a good idea? Maybe. You know what? If people do hashtag may I ask in the comments down below when they ask a question, that would be helpful. That would actually be so much helpful. Then I wouldn't have to like go and skim through so many comments and hopefully not miss anything. Shout out to everyone. Hashtag may I ask. If you want to ask a question in the comments below, that's what, yeah, I guess that's the best way to go about it. Amari, oh yeah, that's right. You actually asked again, and just in time for this one. Wait, I know, I'm sorry. I was re-listening to Sarah's babysitting duty, and when Seek asked if he caught Sero and Tesoro in the middle of a lover's argument, and they both said no, he said it was interesting. Is this because in the Pro Hero AU, they don't have a defined relationship yet, but in the other AUs they do? Ring-a-ding-ding! You are absolutely right. So the whole point is that Seek knows in the other AU, most specifically the villain AU, because that's the only other one that exists of Sero, that they have a defined relationship. They have, like, you know, there is already this sense of, I guess, knowing, sense of knowing where they are placed in the relationship, how they interact in the relationship, and all of that stuff. There's already those boundaries set up. They've built so much in the villain AU, whereas in the Pro Hero AU, Seek has then discovered they're not even together yet. So that's what makes it very interesting for Seek, and I guess in future videos to come, that's how Seek is going to try and approach this kind of coupling between the two. But yeah, so the thing is that Seek notices that some developments are a little underdeveloped in this main world, which caught his attention the most, but it also helps him in his own little way. But again, that's going to be highlighted in future videos, should I be able to write further into that story. I really do. Even though I want to jump onto different fandoms, I really do. So I've only just found this comment in my list of comments to answer. Sorry, Miranda Murray. I just realized there's a lot to digest as well. So we may have to do a two-parter on yours. So the only thing I can probably answer from the questions wrapped up in this is would the travelers have any pets or anything? And I believe there's one about Kirishima and his getaway place being the arcade, and also quirk malfunctions. So quirk malfunctions, unfortunately, I might have to go on another video for another day, but I will keep that in mind. Just as well as the quirk malfunctions for I guess Todoroki, which is in the first part of your question. So quickly to round off, I guess for pets, I think the only travelers who have pets is basically Shinso's traveler, which is actually Shinsou's pet. So Shinsou owns a pet cat named Toka, and in his timeline there is a video where he actually has rescued a cat, which is Toka. So it was a little pet project of mine that I really wanted to put together, so I was happy to put that together. But I'm not sure about everyone else yet. Who knows? Might be a thing. Also, with the Kirishima about his getaway at the arcade, it could possibly be. After all, it was just one simple date at the time. But if it becomes a really special place in Kirishima and his traveler, as in Thumper, as in a place that they can get away from work and everything, I'd be more than happy to put that in place as well. We'll see how the story leads in their timeline. But just a little bit of a sneak peek before this video ends, that is also the same arcade where Hawks was hiding. It's also the same arcade where Darby went in to try and find where Hawks was hiding. Hint, hint. Oh well. Anyhow, thank you so much for all the questions. I hope that I have answered them to your pleasure. Again, I do agree with Noah's suggestion. #MayIAsk in the comments below if you have any more questions for the next Q&A. But until next time, keep asking. See you soon.